I think we're a good story. I think we're a good news story that, second chances are out there. I'm Becky Delmonico, and I'm current owner with my husband of The Exercise Coach, a fitness studio. Previously, my husband and I, while working in corporate, America, we did own a franchise back 20 years ago. It was a restaurant franchise. Did not have a very good experience. We ended up, it didn't end well. Let's just put it that way. We owned 2 franchises. One was a restaurant. One was a tanning salon. And this was at the time where tanning salons or tanning in general was not a good practice. It was shifting away from the health, problems with tanning. So that happened at an unfortunate time for us. Fast forward to 20 years later, we're still in corporate, but had the opportunity to jump into a new franchise situation. So here we are today. I'm in corporate America right now in a very stressful job. So I'm always kind of looking to see what's out there, to see how I can advance my career, how I can just look for new and better opportunities. So about a year ago, Joe Price from the Entrepreneur Source reached out to me via LinkedIn and just started the conversation with me about, I didn't know at the time it was franchising. So we just kind of got to know each other. We kind of went through some insights, talked about my personality, talked about my values, core values, my kinds of, what I'm looking for in the future, what I want to do in retirement. We went through, had a long conversation, but over the course of the time, he presented several franchise opportunities for me. And one of which, The Exercise Coach, was really intriguing. So it was at the time, though, it was just me and my husband, just me in the conversations with Joe, because my husband was like, we are not doing this ever again. It was such a bad experience that we decided, he was like, we're just not going to do that. But as we went along in the process, or as I went along in the process with Joe, he showed us these different opportunities. We started to meet with Franchise Fastlane, which was the organization that works with the Exercise Coach. And we met with them along with Joe, and we just started to look at the territories and looked at what was the Exercise Coach. And I brought my husband on into one of the meetings, and he was intrigued. He was fascinated by it. And we started looking at the territories and realized, wow, we have a really good opportunity here in South Houston. So then we kind of took the next steps and just kind of went from there, honestly. And Joe has been a really big help as far as financial, assistance. 20 years ago, we did not know how to get financing. So we did a business plan, took it to a big bank. Well, they were just like, who are you? And why would we give you money? And so we did. We put a lot of our money back in 20 years ago. We put a lot of our money back into the business then, and actually, unfortunately, lost quite a bit of money in the process as well. So this time it was going to be different. We decided we were going to do this a little bit different, but we had help this time. Joe gave us some financial people to discuss ROBs. So we kind of went down that path, how to get, look into small business loans. We looked in home equity loans. And so we did. We took the advantage of the ROBS process, which now it takes your IRA that you would be investing in other things, and you're investing in yourself now. And that's the great part, is that I'm investing in me. We are investing in us, right? So that we are investing for our future with this franchise opportunity. So that's kind of where we're at today. So in the process of talking to Joe, he enlightened me definitely on the franchising world, right? There's way more out in the world of franchising other than what most people think, which is Subway, burgers, fast food. There's a ton of opportunity in the franchising world. And him and I actually talked about how interesting that they don't teach this in school. They don't teach you how to go be in business on your own, and how many opportunities are out there for you to run your own business. And what types of business? I mean, he introduced me to 3 different types of businesses. One was a bathroom remodel, one was in-home cleaning, and then the exercise coach. And for the exercise coach just hit home for us for sure. And it resonated with me so much. But there's a lot of opportunity out there. And it was great to have somebody like Joe kind of just enlighten me, show me the opportunities, and that kind of really worked with me on what fit for me, right? What fit aligned with my values, my core, desires at the end, towards working towards retirement. So that was kind of the best part working with Joe, is that there was so much more that we had no idea of. Not even just, the franchises that are out there, but all of the opportunities that franchise owners could have through, these financial opportunities and resources, lots of resources available. And so that's one thing that Joe was helping, put a lot of information in front of us to review. So it definitely made us feel a little bit more, at ease with this process. And as we've moved forward, it's incredible the difference from 20 years ago to today. We've had so much support from Joe, for one. I meet with him still regularly, but from our, the franchise company and the franchisor that we're working with now, just a huge difference of amount of support we are getting today as we're getting ready to open and launch our first studio. One thing, you do not have to have a lot of money to be a franchise owner. One thing is that there's opportunities for financial institutions like that we working with Guidant, and they give you opportunities to look at different types of financing channels. We definitely, we're not rich by any means, so we bought into this, but it's using some existing funds, some existing IRAs that we're reinvesting in ourselves. So that's, and it obviously each franchise has their own franchise cost to join and be a part of, and that varies, but it's not daunting. I mean, it's surprising again that you can get into some franchises with very little money and actually no cash up front. I mean, we're really putting more from an IRA and a little bit of a home equity into some of this. And then the nice part is going through this franchising process, we've come into an agreement with our landlord who's going to help fund some of that upfront cost, right? So that's the nice part too, is we got into a studio and we signed a lease agreement where we get some advantages from doing, owning our own business, but working with them to get some of that advantage of leasehold improvements and some upfront money for us to do our build out, so on. Yeah. So one thing about the franchise opportunity for us, it's a family deal, right? It's something that my husband and I are working towards. It's something we can do in retirement. And actually we're bringing in my one daughter into the mix right now. She's helping us, kind of pull things together for our opening. And hopefully, down the road, this is, we're going to buy into another territory, but, ultimately this is a legacy kind of thing for us. It's something that when we finally, do that full out retirement from that corporate world, which is hopefully sooner rather than later. And this kicks off, that we can enjoy the benefits of this owning our franchise, a little bit more flexibility, but also look to what does this do for, our kids and going forward, and see how that, how she can take it, or I have 2 daughters, how they can take it and move it forward. So just looking forward to seeing how it progresses over the next, 10 years. So the one thing about owning a franchise is the flexibility in how you spend your time. Right now, today, both my husband and I are still working full time as we're trying to manage and open up this business. So it is a little stressful, I'm not going to lie. There's a lot to work to be done. But the nice part is we're working for us, right? Where this is ultimately all the effort and hard work and blood and sweat and tears that we're putting in is for us. It's for our business. It's for us, to sit back and say, yes, we did this as the owners for this. So ultimately, my husband's pretty close to a retirement age. He's spending a lot more time there than I am. Unfortunately, it's just due to my job situation right now. But ultimately, we'd like to be able to open this one and open up another one. And we actually hired a manager. So she's going to be helping us kind of do that. So that provides an additional flexibility, right? So we've got the other piece of franchising, honestly, is hiring good people, right? It's all about people in the end. It's all about getting good people that have the same values that you do so that you can, walk away and take some time off and not worry about it. And that's what we've done. We've absolutely done that. We've hired some amazing staff that they can come in and they can take over, and hopefully when we get this up and running and things are humming along well, we're gonna be able to just take a deep breath and look back and go, man, we did this, and take some time off. But it is the flexibility. The nice part is him specifically, there's some flexibility. He's kind of in and out and moving things, in and out of there, at the studio, plus doing a little bit on his day job. So yeah, it's not like an easy process, but it's fun, right? I mean, it's something at the end of the day, this is my business or our business, right? So that's how you can think of it. It's how you look at it. It's how you take on that, that roll up your sleeves and kind of thing, because it's something you're building. So one thing too right now is just as we're kicking things off, trying to figure out ways to how to build into the community, how to be a part of the community, how to what the exercise coach does is such an amazing concept that we want to get word out. So it's like we are, contacting local, media, and it's great because being now part of a chamber, I've actually joined one of our chambers, and super excited to do that because there's a lot of networking opportunity there, and really it's not just to build my business. It's to network and be a good steward of our community, honestly, to be a part of the community and get people to know what we do and how it can impact lives. And that's really exciting to me. And I'm energized by it. I love the opportunity to get out and talk about what we're doing and meet new people. And I've had some really good experiences meeting new potential clients. And so I'm really excited about that. Well, I think there's, the entrepreneur source for sure is a resource. So look for resourcing. I think people that are interested in doing this today should look for, and you may not, it may not be for you, but you don't know that until you reach out and talk to, somebody from the entrepreneur source that can kind of give you, what does that look like? And what does that look like for you? Because everyone is different, right? So everyone has, different values, different end goals in mind. And so I think just finding resources, talk to people in your community, but there's resources available that you can talk to about getting in the franchise world. I would have never known, again, so many businesses out there that are franchise. You just assume they're a corporate driven business, and they're actually not. They're actually people that own their own business that are representing a brand. So it's really, there is a lot of opportunity out there. And if that's something that's even the slightest bit intriguing, you should just pursue it. I mean, there's the one thing about the entrepreneur source, there was no commitment. I didn't have to be, you have to do this, or, if you don't, I'm going to stop talking to you. No, it wasn't that. It's just, let's talk through this. Let's be open and honest about what you're looking for. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if it does, then that's great. And then we've both moved into, we both help each other in a way. So There's a lot of resources out there. And I would just recommend to people, if you're not sure, do some research, but just talk to people. Entrepreneur Source it is free, right? I mean, so that was my concern when Joe first reached out to me. I was like, okay, what's my commitment? What do I owe you in this process? And as we started talking, we never talked about money. So that's the nice part, is we just talked. We just had a conversation and we just talked. And he's like, I'm just going to present some opportunities for you. There's no obligation. You don't have to do this. If you don't feel like it's the right fit for you now or ever or whenever, we can continue to have conversations. But there was never any, you're obligated to do this or you're obligated to pay Entrepreneur Source for Joe's time. That's not the case. And that's, if you're concerned about what's it going to cost me to even start having these conversations, you shouldn't, because it's just part of what the Entrepreneur Source does. Franchising is different today than it ever has been, right? I think it's a space that people, it's growing. It's a space that people are learning more about. It's a space that you could potentially think that may or may not be for you. But if you have, like I said before, if you have an inkling that might be something that, hey, I'd love to work for myself. We say it all the time. I'd love to be my own boss, right? So it's one of those things. Take the opportunity just to do a little bit of research, because I wouldn't have done that. And again, if you ask me a year ago if I would be where I'm at today, I would have said, no way. No way. We would have never gone down that path. And you talk to my husband, he would say, no, it's like a kind of thing. Don't do that. We're not going to do that. And here we are today. So I think we're a good story. I think we're a good news story, that, second chances are out there. Right. The one thing about and I'm assuming this is the case in most of the other franchise that we were looking at, but the one thing with the exercise coach, it's very detailed. I mean, they set us up to succeed, right? So it's very scripted on, our opening process, what you need to do to build into the franchise brand, and what you need to do, what you need financially, what you need to do, just looking for territories. We were never alone on this journey. That's the nice part. We've been through this together, with Joe at the Entrepreneur Source, but also with our franchisor. They've been amazing with how do you, if we have questions, we have a support team. We meet weekly. We meet with a launch support. We meet with, a support coordinator. I mean, it's a franchise coordinator, sorry. And it's one of those things. We meet regularly, and they want us to succeed, because in the end, we all succeed. We are representing the brand, and we are brand ambassadors for them. And so they're going to want to make sure that we have the tools and, support to make ourselves successful. But in the end, that makes the brand and them successful as well. So it's exciting.